He said he was going home for Christmas, so why was his location still with her? The night he kissed my forehead and said, "I'll miss you, babe. I'll call when I land." My heart believed him, but my soul didn't. Because love doesn't panic for no reason. And betrayal doesn't knock, it leaks. This isn't a story about jealousy. This is a story about truth. And what happens when a woman stops crying and starts watching. Before I continue, please subscribe to my channel to see more interesting stories. Thank you. The lie wrapped in tinsel. The pain didn't start when I checked his location. It started when he hugged me goodbye at Union Station in Washington, D.C., holding me just a second too long, like guilt needed a moment to breathe. "Dallas by noon," Marcus said, smiling. "Mom already made plans." I watched him walk away with his duffel bag, Christmas sweater folded neatly on top. I stood there until the station swallowed him whole. That night, I wrapped myself in silence. No calls.
No texts.
I told myself planes get delayed. Families get loud. At 11:47 p.m., curiosity cracked my restraint. I opened my phone. Marcus's location was active. Not Dallas. Not Texas. Brooklyn. I laughed at first. A dry, broken sound. Maybe the app glitched. Maybe Wi-Fi lagged. But at 12:02 a.m., his location updated again. Same address. Same building. I stared at the blinking blue, like it was mocking me. Christmas lights glowed outside my window, cheerful and cruel. And in that moment, I didn't feel anger. I felt something colder. When intuition screams. By morning, he texted. "Just landed. Exhausted. Talk later, red heart." I read it 3 times, my hand steady, my heart not. I zoomed into the Brooklyn address. Luxury condo. High-rise. Rooftop pool. Doorman. Not his mother's house. I didn't confront him. That's what weak anger does. Strong revenge observes. I called my best friend, Naomi, in Chicago. "Say it slow," she said. "Where is he?" "Still in New York." Silence. Then, "Elena, are you safe?" I laughed again. That broken laugh was becoming familiar. I spent the day replaying moments, his sudden gym obsession, the way he guarded his phone, the new cologne he never wore around me. At 6 p.m., his location moved. Not an airport. A restaurant. Candlelit. Expensive. I Googled it. Reservation only. Couples known spot. That's when the betrayal stopped being abstract. It had a face now. A table. A glass of wine. And I promised myself something that night. I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't beg. I would wait. The girl in the reflection. Christmas Eve arrived like a slap. Marcus FaceTimed me from what he claimed was his childhood bedroom. Neutral wall. Dim light. Cropped frame. "Mom says hi." He lied easily. I smiled sweetly. Played my role. After we hung up, his location betrayed him again. Same Brooklyn building. I sat on my couch in D.C., wrapped in a blanket he bought me last winter, and felt myself split in two. The woman who loved him, and the woman who now studied him. I ordered wine, opened my laptop, did what smart women do when they stop being emotional and start being intentional. Property records, tenant listings,
Instagram tags.
The building had a nickname, the Ivy. And so did the woman who lived there. I found her on Instagram at 2:14 a.m. Ivy Monroe, 29, marketing executive. Brooklyn-based. Her latest post? A Christmas tree. Familiar hands decorating it. Hands I knew. The screenshot that changed me. I didn't cry when I saw his watch on her wrist. I didn't cry when I recognized the sweater. I cried when I saw the caption. Home for the holidays, red heart. Not Dallas. Not his mother. Her. I took screenshots of everything. Saved timestamps. Logged locations. Because pain fades, but evidence doesn't. At 3 a.m., Marcus texted again. Miss you. Can't wait to come back. I replied.
Me too.
Travel safe. That was the moment my heartbreak hardened into purpose. I wasn't just going to expose him. I was going to let him destroy himself, politely. Revenge begins quietly. On Christmas morning, I sent gifts. To his mother in Texas, flowers and a note. To Marcus, nothing. To Ivy, a handwritten card, mailed anonymously. Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy the man who lies as beautifully as he loves.
No threats.
No drama. Just truth, wrapped carefully. Then I booked a flight. New York City. December 27th. I didn't tell Marcus. Because the best revenge doesn't arrive announced. It arrives on time. New York knows the truth. New York greeted me with gray skies and sharp air, the kind that cuts through lies. I checked into a boutique hotel in Soho under my own name. I wasn't hiding. I was arriving. Marcus still thought I was in DC, still sending good morning texts and fake heart emojis. His location hadn't moved from the Ivy since Christmas night. I walked past the building that evening, hands in my coat pockets, heart steady. It was taller than I imagined.
Cleaner.
More expensive. He didn't look like a villain when I saw him through the glass lobby doors. Just a man laughing too loudly with a woman who didn't know she was sharing stolen love. I didn't confront him. Instead, I took a photo of the building entrance. Time-stamped. Geotagged. Then I went back to my hotel and did something crueler than yelling. I waited. Because patience, I was learning, is the sharpest blade. Ivy starts asking questions. 2 days later, Ivy posted nothing. That alone told me everything. Marcus's location jumped erratically that morning. Coffee shop. Gym. Back to the Ivy. Nervous movement. Damage control. At noon, I received a DM from an unknown account.
Ivy. E.
This is going to sound strange, but do you know Marcus Reed? I stared at the screen, letting the moment stretch. Then I replied carefully.
Yes.
He's my boyfriend. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. He told me he was single. I didn't insult her. Didn't claim ownership. Didn't beg. I sent one screenshot. Union Station.
Date. Time.
Then another. His Dallas landing text, while his location said Brooklyn. Her reply came after 10 minutes. I need to talk to him. I typed one last message. So do I. But I'm in no rush. The man who panicked. Marcus called me that night. Not FaceTime. A call. He never called unless something was wrong. Elena, he said quickly, why is some woman messaging me about you? I let silence do the work.
Elena.
She's not some woman, I said calmly. She's your Christmas. His breath stuttered. I can explain. I know, I replied. That's what liars say when the truth arrives early. He started talking fast, excuses tumbling over each other. Childhood friend. Misunderstanding. Temporary stay. I looked at his live location. Same building.
Same lie.
I'm in New York, I said softly. Silence. You're what? I just wanted to see the city, I continued. Funny how it keeps showing me you. He hung up. That was the sound of a man realizing the ground beneath him wasn't solid. Ivy and I share a moment. I met Ivy the next day at a cafe in Williamsburg. She looked tired, beautiful, hurt. We sat across from each other, 2 women connected by the same deception. He said you were his ex, she whispered. He said you were his cousin, I replied. We laughed, not because it was funny, but because pain sometimes needs air. I didn't attack her. I showed her timelines. Messages.
Dates.
She showed me gifts he'd given her, copies of mine. Same necklace. Same words engraved. I reached across the table and held her hand. This isn't about him anymore, I said. It's about what we do next. Her eyes hardened. I don't want him to walk away clean. Neither did I. The plan takes shape. Marcus texted me that night. Please, let's talk. I'll come back to DC. We can fix this. I smiled. Stay where you are, I replied. I like knowing where you are. Ivy and I sat on her couch, the city glowing behind us. She poured wine. I opened my notes app. We don't expose him online, I said. That's loud. Messy. What do we do then? She asked. We let him tell the truth himself, I replied. In front of the people he respects most. Ivy swallowed. He has a company holiday gala, she said slowly. January 5th, Manhattan. I nodded.
Perfect, I said.
Because the most devastating revenge isn't public humiliation. It's public honesty. And Marcus had no idea what was coming. Dressing for war. I chose my dress carefully. Not red. Not black. Ivory. The color of truth. Clean, impossible to hide stains on. The gala was held at a glass-walled venue overlooking the Hudson River, all chandeliers and quiet money. Marcus's company loved appearances. Integrity panels. Ethics awards. Charity banners everywhere. I arrived alone. Ivy came separately. That was important. I spotted Marcus across the room, laughing too loudly, holding a flute of champagne like it could anchor him. His smile froze the moment he saw me. He walked toward me slowly, panic flickering behind his eyes. Elena, what are you doing here? I smiled. Supporting you. The word unsettled him. Can we talk? He whispered.
Of course, I said.
Later. Then I turned and greeted his boss. Because tonight wasn't about confrontation. It was about timing. The woman beside him. The program began. Applause echoed. Marcus was announced as a finalist for a Leadership Recognition Award. I clapped politely. That's when Ivy entered. She wore emerald green, confident, undeniable. She walked straight to Marcus and slipped her arm through his. Gasps rippled softly. I watched his face drain of color. She leaned in and kissed his cheek. I'm so proud of you, she said loudly. He looked at me. I met his eyes and nodded, calm as water. Let it happen. His boss leaned toward me. Is that Marcus's girlfriend? Yes, I replied evenly. One of them. The sentence landed softly, but it echoed. Marcus stepped away from Ivy, whispering urgently. Ivy smiled sweetly, then took a seat 2 rows behind him. The trap was closing. When the story cracks. During cocktail hour, conversations swirled like smoke. I moved gracefully, answering questions without bitterness. How long have you and Marcus been together? Someone asked.
3 years, I said.
With a brief Christmas extension. Confusion followed me like perfume. Marcus cornered me near the balcony. You're humiliating me, he hissed.
No, irraplia.
I'm letting you meet yourself. His phone buzzed relentlessly. Messages from Ivy. From coworkers. From his boss. Please, he said quietly. Just stop. I looked out at the river. You stop respecting me first. Then I walked away. Ivy speaks. The microphone feedback screeched. Everyone turned. Ivy stood near the stage. I'm sorry, she said calmly, but I think there's been a misunderstanding tonight. Marcus froze. I was invited here as Marcus Reed's partner, she continued. But I've just learned I'm not the only one. Murmurs spread. Faces shifted. She gestured toward me. Elena has been with Marcus for years. I met him 6 months ago. He told us different truths. Silence. Not scandalous. Just clear. Marcus's boss stood slowly. Marcus, he said, voice tight. Is this true? Marcus opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Consequences wear suits. The gala ended early. Awards postponed. Smiles erased. Marcus didn't chase me. He sat alone, shoulders folded inward, exposed. The next morning, I received an email. Subject: Leadership Review Update. Marcus had been placed on indefinite leave, pending investigation. Violation of company ethics policy. Ivy texted me. I moved out. Thank you for not making me feel stupid. I replied. You were never the fool. Marcus sent one final message. I lost everything. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed.
No.
You gave it away. And blocked him. But the story wasn't finished yet. Because the deepest payoff doesn't come when a man falls. It comes when a woman rises. Silence is a verdict. I left New York without ceremony. No goodbye posts. No victory laps. Back in Washington, D.C., the city felt different, lighter. Like I'd put down a weight, I didn't know I was carrying. Marcus disappeared from social media. His company removed his bio from their website. Quiet erasures. That kind of silence isn't peace. It's judgment. Friends called with questions. I answered simply. The truth caught up. I stopped checking his location. That was the real win. When karma knocks softly. 2 weeks later, I received an email from Marcus's company. Not about him.
About me.
They'd seen my work, project management, communications, crisis handling. Someone mentioned how composed I was at the gala. They asked if I'd consider consulting on a short-term ethics and communications project. I laughed out loud. Life has a sense of timing. I accepted. Not to prove anything, but because I could. Ivy's new beginning. Ivy and I stayed in touch. She moved to Los Angeles.
New job.
New light in her voice. One day, she said during a call, I'll look back and be grateful. You already are, I replied. We didn't bond over pain anymore. We bonded over growth. Marcus tried reaching out through a mutual friend. I declined the message unopened. Some doors don't deserve closure. The man who tried to rewrite history. An article surfaced quietly online. Former executive denies allegations, cites personal misunderstandings. Marcus's attempt at redemption. I read it once. Not angry, not sad. Just
done.
Truth doesn't need defending. It survives on its own. Becoming the woman I needed. Spring arrived early that year. I stood on my balcony in D.C., coffee warming my hands, city humming below. I wasn't the woman who tracked a location anymore. I was the woman who trusted herself. That mattered. Still, one chapter remained. Because Marcus hadn't faced the one consequence that mattered most. Himself. And fate, it seemed, wasn't finished writing. The invitation he didn't expect. The email arrived on a Tuesday morning. Subject, panel invitation, truth, transparency, and leadership. It was a national conference in San Francisco, streamed live, attended by executives, students, and future leaders. They wanted me, not as a victim, but as a consultant who had witnessed integrity tested in real time. I read the speaker list. Marcus Reed.
Panelist.
Rebranding. Redemption arc. I almost declined. Then I remembered something important. Truth doesn't chase people. It waits where it's invited. I accepted. The room where it ended. The auditorium was bright, modern, unforgiving. Marcus sat 2 seats away from me on stage. He looked thinner, older, polished but hollow. The moderator asked the final question. What does personal integrity mean when no one is watching? Marcus spoke first.
Carefully. Smoothly.
Then the microphone turned to me. I took a breath. Integrity, I said, is what remains when tracking stops, stories collapse, and the person you lied to isn't in the room anymore. Silence. I didn't say his name. I didn't need to. The confession. During the Q&A, a student stood. Can people really change after betraying someone deeply? The question hung heavy. Marcus leaned into his mic. Yes, he said slowly, but only after admitting the full truth. He looked at me.
Elite.
I hurt 2 women. I used distance and holidays as cover. And I lost everything worth keeping. No drama. Just surrender. The room exhaled. That was the moment I won. Closure without contact. After the panel, Marcus didn't approach me. He sent an email instead. Thank you for not destroying me when you could have. I'm learning to live with who I was. I replied once. That's the only punishment that lasts. Then, I deleted the thread. Some endings don't need revisiting. Christmas rewritten. 1 year later, I spent Christmas in Sedona, Arizona, watching red rocks glow at sunset.
No tracking gaps. No doubts.
Just peace. I thought about the woman I was, the one who felt foolish for checking a location. She wasn't weak. She was waking up. Because the most satisfying revenge isn't exposure. It's becoming unreachable to the people who once thought they could fool you. And somewhere I knew Marcus understood that now. That was enough. If this story taught me anything, It's this. Truth doesn't shout. It shows up on time. And when you choose dignity over destruction, the justice lasts longer than the pain ever did. Thank you for listening to my story. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my videos. Thank you.